I miss concerts and music festivals and food festivals and like any sort of big group gatherings and like going to campus. I just miss being able to like people watch and like watch people interact with each other. Just the opportunity to like meet new people has kind of gone away.
I definitely miss theater. I miss the ability to go out and see theater, to be a part of it, all of the above.
Something I miss, I honestly really miss coughing in public and not feeling like a piece of shit. That's something I really miss. Every time I got a cough, I'm just like, I gotta fucking swallow it or something. I don't know what to do. Even with my mask on, I'm like, I gotta do something. Everybody's gonna look at me. And for some reason at grocery store, I always need to cough. I don't know why, because there's probably so many people. I don't know. I miss that. The little things.
Well, honestly, people being friendly to each other, and I guess, for example, people are yelling at me to wear a mask or tell me that I don't have to wear a mask. There's both sides of the story, really.
I miss being able to see other people's expressions, like random people. You see your friends all the time, but not just some person in the street.
What's keeping me sane is Discord and Zoom and just being able to talk to my friends on there and sort of not feel alone all the time, just feel like there are other people who are experiencing the same thing and just being able to interact with them.
Working on myself, staying positive in the things that I know that I can control, like my creativity. So working on things that I like music, and escaping in worlds like video games. Like, it's cool.
What's keeping me sane? I don't know. I've never really been sane. You know what's keeping me sane is knowing everybody else is insane. Everybody else is insane, and I'm like, good. You get a taste of my medicine here. I like that.
Recently picked up being more active. I work out, and I do that every day, and doing that each day keeps me focused, active, and honestly, it makes me feel a lot healthier.
Really, I try and get out as much as I can, even if it's by myself. Seeing blue skies is pretty nice.
I definitely don't think that we'll be wearing masks, but I do think that it's going to be difficult to sort of assimilate back into normal society life. And I think that, since a majority of people have experienced COVID, I think that everyone is going to be a lot more cautious and aware of how they feel. And I feel like everyone's going to be a lot more aware of like disease and how it spreads and be more cautious about spreading things.
As a society, I feel like we've created this sort of distance in society that I feel like it'll be really hard for us to come back from, because it's not like we weren't already going in this whole digital world with phones and computers, but like being quarantined really strengthened that divide that was already there. So I think that's something that's not gonna change too much after this, sadly, but it is what it is, right?
Man, I don't know. We're still gonna wear masks all the time. We're still probably gonna feel really bad about hanging out with our grandmas and stuff. I feel like that's gonna be around forever. Or by the time this is over, our grandparents will all be dead. So I don't really know. It's a good question.
I would say good hygiene has become more of a priority, and that is going to last a long time. And honestly, I don't see the masks going away ever. I think specific companies are just going to keep it. Maybe their employees, or just maybe they'll require customers to wear it.
Well, I really hope we go back to normal, but I don't really see that happening because of all this nonsense. But I would like to see mainly go back to normal is just being able to interact in large groups, concerts and such.
Essentially, it hasn't changed too much in the sense that I wasn't very socially out there all the time, but I think that the biggest impact has just been mentally, and knowing that you're isolated and it's not by choice, and then that has a huge toll on how you feel.
I have, over the past at least year, I guess you could say we've been in quarantine or whatever, I have become more disciplined. as a person, learning things about myself that I didn't know previously that have helped me grow and actually achieve things that I want to do. And like I said previously, the biggest thing was teaching myself discipline. You can be motivated to do whatever you want, but if you don't have the discipline to actually do it, it won't get done. So that's the biggest thing I've learned so far.
My life has changed. Well, now it hasn't. It's kind of gone back to normal for the most part, but things just feel weird. I don't know. Social situations, I guess, just being around people, being around less people, I would say.
I would say my life has actually gotten better. I've reached out to friends that maybe I wouldn't have talked to originally. I work out. I've gotten a new dog. I spend a lot of time with her. My life has only gotten better.
Personally, the school that I go to has us up in New York, and for our third try, we did online learning. And I don't learn very well online, so grades suffered, social life suffered. Other than that, not much.
Definitely not. I think that there are like some countries like New Zealand and South Korea that have definitely just like taken the bull by its horns and dealt with it within like 2 months. But I think that the majority of the world has kind of reacted in a sort of panic, and our government hasn't really used a lot of like logic when trying to deal with this. And so I think that this whole pandemic has been just like elongated way longer than it should have been. And I think that a lot of people don't really comply here to the government's rules. And so, yeah, I definitely don't agree with how it was handled.
No. But yes, I think that a lot of other governments handled it better, but our government tried to handle it without overstepping our boundaries of democracy. So it was a little harder to handle. So they did okay. I'll leave it at that, but it wasn't great.
No, dude, I don't trust the government a second. Not even a little bit. Like, honestly, anything the government tells me to do, I want to do the opposite. I think the government they're in on this. I'm not saying they made the virus, but they're in on it. They know something we don't, so I don't know. I don't trust anything those guys say. Nancy Pelosi, I'm watching you.
I don't agree with how the government handled everything. I think that everything should have been left up to the state, really, and maybe there wasn't a right answer, but I don't agree.
No and yes. I honestly, I wouldn't have minded seeing some herd immunity. I think that if we had maybe treated it like Sweden did and just said, "Oh, it's a non-issue," the world would have followed suit, and who would have died, and it would have been a little bit better. But I don't know.
So there are some that have just like intensified, that have like carried over from pre-COVID life, which have been like playing video games, but I have developed like an intense love for like making music and cooking like really intricate meals, and just like painting and just things that kind of let like my inner thoughts kind of exit and be on like a tangible object of sorts.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to anyone. I mean, aside from like getting things done that need to be done, or if I'm just not actually going out with people, like I have no interest of being on my phone, really talking to any specific people or just random people. I'll talk to specific people if I like you, but if I don't like you and I don't know you that well, probably not talking to you.
Antisocial hobbies. I guess I'm playing more video games.
I would say that I've not changed out of my loungewear throughout the day, and I've stayed in my room just to play video games. Maybe that's with my friends online or with my brother. But mostly I stay inside.
No, just sulking.
Yeah, I was actually in the middle of a West Loop road trip, and so We were hiking the Grand Canyon and we like came back up and everything was super fun. And then like we got service and we looked at our phones and we were like, oh my god. Like we didn't have masks. We were in the middle of Arizona, just like just like four of us, just four girls. We were like, okay. And like our parents were like, you need to come home now. And like we were like, no, we're like, we have to go to Utah now. But yeah, it was really stressful because then it was really hard to like get supplies because then everyone went to the grocery stores and like cleared everything out and we were like had no food or anything. So yeah, that was pretty intense for sure.
Yeah, so I was here back in Houston, Texas. I was with some friends. I believe that it was kind of reaching maybe 2 weeks back into the spring semester of school starting. So everyone just kind of came back, and it was like, whoa, it's like summer just all of a sudden started. And from there, it was a blur. Leave it at that. But good times, weird times, but good times.
Dude, it was actually my birthday when the whole thing shut down. I remember where I was. I was playing poker with a couple guys, and there was one guy there, and he was like, I can't believe nobody's taking this seriously, man. Nobody's taking this seriously. It's like, then why are you here? Like, what are you doing here? Like, you're the one, like, talking shit about everybody, but you're doing the same thing. It was my birthday. It was right when they shut down the rodeo, and everybody was like, I can't believe they shut down the rodeo. And then everything else shut down really soon after. I'll never forget. I was like, man, this is going to be... It was actually a decent birthday, and I was happy I had my birthday when I did, because if it was a week later, I wouldn't have hung out with anybody, because that was in the peak when everybody was scared of it. So, yeah.
I do. I just got back from Las Vegas. It was my mom's birthday weekend, and little did we know that was our last free weekend to do what we wanted to do, and we celebrated my mom's birthday, and then the shutdown happened.
Yeah, so this is a funny story. So I remember it was mid-February when we started hearing about it in China, and we were in Great Neck, New York, and I remember hearing on the news how there's 200 confirmed cases in the county next to us, and ever since early February, my buddies and I had planned this trip to go to the British Virgin Islands. So we were leaving school, and we went to the British Virgin Islands, and as we were going through JFK, about maybe a fifth of the people were wearing masks, and no one was really treating it serious at all. So we fly to BVI's and we pick up this sailboat in Puerto Rico to sail through the BVI's. We have a great time, but there's no cell service. So we don't hear any of the news until we finally get to Tortola. And in Tortola, we get enough service to check our emails, and we see that we're not going back to campus because of COVID. So throughout all of this fiasco that's happening in America, we're living it up in the islands, having no idea what's going on. And then when we get back, it's like a scene out of a movie, like a hazmat scenario. I don't know. It's pretty fun, though. Pretty fun experience.